Hello, I'm Malika from the National Space Centre. Now, some of you may have been really lucky and caught a glimpse of C2020 F3 Neowise, or as we know, Comet Neowise, in the early evening or early morning. Now don't worry, because if you haven't seen it, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your very own comet from a button and some rock salt. Now, Comet Neowise is a retrograde comet that was discovered on the 27th of March 2020 by astronomers using the Neowise Space Telescope. Comets are cosmic snowballs of frozen gases and rock and dust that orbit the sun. And as that orbit brings them closer to the sun, they start to heat up and they expel those gases and that dust, and that forms a tail that reaches away from the sun. There are likely to be billions of comets orbiting the sun in the Kuiper belt or even more distant Oort cloud. Now, we know of over 3,500 comets, and you may have heard of comets such as Halley's Comet, or more recently 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko, which the European Space Agency's Philae lander landed on. Comet Neowise became visible to the naked eye in July and is actually one of the brightest comets since 1997, when we saw Comet Hale-Bopp. It has recently developed a second tail. The first one is blue, which is gas and ions with a red separation that is caused by sodium. And the second tail is golden dust, very similar to that of Hale-Bopp. To make our comet, you will need a few simple ingredients. You're going to need a ribbon, a large button, some rock salt, some PVA glue, some nail varnish or glitter nail varnish, this is optional, and finally some paint. Now, I'm using mica powder because I'm using something that I have in my house, but you can use any paint that you have at home. You don't need to go out and buy special powders. So if you've got an acrylic paint that you can water down or some powder paint, then that would be perfect. So the first thing I need to do is to make the coloured salt to make my comet. So in a bowl, I'm going to be using mica powder. You can use any kind of paint, so you could use acrylic paints which you water down, or you could use powder paints. You can even use glitter if you prefer. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the powder in here. Now this has got a nice shimmer to it, so I'll get that nice iridescent quality. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Now, you don't want too much, otherwise that will affect the salt. And as you can see there, that's a lovely shimmery copper. And then I'm going to add natural rock salt. So that's our copper, and as you can see, instantly it's starting to soak up that colour, and you just mix it round there just to get it all coated, and that's taking on a lovely colour. And in true Blue Peter style, here's one I did earlier. So this is a blue that I've already made. I'm just going to put this down on some kitchen towel to dry, and just make sure you don't miss any. Spread it all out. There we go. And there you go, it looks beautiful already, but if you leave that overnight to dry, it'll be ready in the morning. Now, if you want to add a different layer of colour to it, here again is another one I've done, and this is red, and as you may be able to see, I added glitter at this stage, so it adheres to the sea salt. So now I have some colours that I'll be working with in just a moment's time. Okay, so overnight our salt crystals have dried and they are a beautiful colour, and now I'm going to create the base for our comet. And all I've done is I've taken a button and some ribbon. I have glued, which obviously you'll need an adult to do. I used a hot glue gun, but you can use any form of glue. And I've used some ribbon to make the tails of our comet, and I've just used a piece of ribbon there just to make a loop, so you can either hang it on a wall or make it into a piece of jewellery. Next stage is really easy. We're just going to use some PVA glue. You can use any glue that you like, but I find that this is the easiest, and we're just going to build up the body of our comet. So apply lots of glue right the way to the edges to make our comet. And then I'm just going to add some of our dirty snowball colour. So that's a beautiful sort of black grey, and like I say, take it right the way to the edges, And then I have also made some shiny icy colours, so we are now just going to press this into our Comet where we have all that glue, making sure that we get it all the way to the edges. We can add little bits here to the edges, and then I'm going to let it dry. So that's the start, so that's the body of our Comet, and the next we're going to do is we're going to build up some tails, but I just need to let that dry first, so another break. Okay, you can see that this has now dried, so our Comet is dry and I have started to add the tails. So here we go, this is our blue trail. I put a little bit of red there, and I'm just going to show you, it's really easy. We're just going to finish off and do that last tail, which is going to be a nice golden copper colour. So you're just going to add your PVA glue to your ribbon all the way to the end. There we go. And then we're going to add that lovely copper colour, and it doesn't matter if you go off the edges, you just need to press it onto the ribbon and just make sure you don't get it on the other tail, and go all the way to the end. Keep pressing to make sure it sticks. And I'm going to leave that to dry, and once it's dry I can lift it up and shake off any of the excess. So that's the last part of the process of adding our sea salt, and I'll be back just in a moment to show you the next stage. This is our complete Comet, complete with its two tails and that lovely dirty snowball body. All I've done to finish it off is give it a coat of clear nail varnish. This is optional. I have used this one, which has a glitter in it, which I've used here on the body of our Comet and also on this lovely coppery tail. And then I've used a clear nail varnish just on this trail here, with the blue and the red. I hope you enjoy making this yourself. If you do, please do share pictures with us at the National Space Centre. Stay safe, and we look forward to welcoming you to the centre very soon.